Hi there, I'm Ron Checkett, and as we've reached another Sunday in our 2004 Red Sox replay, it's time for Red Sox Week in Review, brought to you by Commodore 64. So 80s, so awesome, so close to you as an emulator on the internet. All right, the Red Sox did not have a great week. They played 4 games, and they lost 3. They lost 1 to Baltimore, and they've lost 2 out of 3 so far to the New York Yankees at home on the first homestand of the year. They will play one more against the Yankees to the Monday, the Patriots Day game, that morning game at 11:05. As opposed to real life, the Red Sox are 1 game off from where they were. They go into that Patriots Day game in 2004 at 6-5. And here they go into that Patriots Day game at 5-6, 2.5 games behind the Yankees. The difference was the Red Sox won the Saturday game and they lost it here. So let's go through the standings and leaders real quick for you. In the American League, the Angels lead the American League West at 8-5. Oakland and Seattle are 1.5 back at 500. Chicago and Minnesota are tied to the American League Central, Chicago 8-4. Minnesota won that division in real life. And in the American League East, the Yankees are 8-4. Baltimore a half game back at 7-4. The Red Sox are 2.5 back at 5-6. Tampa 4-7, 3.5 back. In Toronto 4-8, 4 back. The Red Sox go to Sky Dome. That's the last year it was called Sky Dome, 2004, for 3 starting Tuesday before going to New York, and 3 at Yankee Stadium. So it's a busy week, no off day, 7 games for the Red Sox. 1 at Fenway against the Yankees, 3 against Toronto, and 3 at Yankee Stadium, at renovated Yankee Stadium. The National League standings. The Dodgers and Padres are tied at 8-4. How about that? Arizona 1 back at 7-5. St. Louis leads the Central at 9-4. They're just going to cruise all year. That division is pretty much over. Milwaukee at 7-7, 2.5 back. In Chicago is 6-6, 2.5 back. In the National League East, Philadelphia 9-2, with Atlanta and the Mets 2.5 back at 7-5. And if the wild cards were to be selected today, it would be San Diego and Minnesota for those. Because Los Angeles and Chicago, the White Sox would make the playoffs. So let's get you some batting leaders. Ichiro Suzuki leads Seattle, or leads the American League, hitting .519. And once again, don't you just love April numbers? He's 27 for 52. Jason Varitek is second in the American League, hitting at .514, 19 for 37 in 10 games. Not bad. Melvin Moore in third. Aaron Rowan in fourth for the White Sox. Remember, the White Sox in 2005 would win the World Series, so a success in 04 is not that much of a surprise. David Eckstein for Anaheim hitting .420, and David Ortiz is 8th at .405 with 16 RBI. Home run leaders, Eric Chavez from Oakland has 5, and a whole battery of players, or have 6, I'm sorry, and a whole battery of players have 5, including Magdalene Ordonez, Jones from Minnesota, Mookie Blaylock for, I hope I got that right. I think Mookie was a basketball player. Hank Blaylock for Texas. Aha! I remember that for a while. And Vladdy Guerrero is 5 for Anaheim. RBIs, Jones for Minnesota has 18. Rafi Palmeiro for Baltimore has 16, along with David Ortiz. Guerrero has 15 for Anaheim, and Gary Sheffield has 14 for the Yankees. Stolen bases, Carl Crawford leads the American League with 5 for Tampa. Second place is Ichiro again with 4. Kenny Lofton, Alex Rodriguez, and Derek Jeter are part of a number of players with 3. Pitching leaders, no one of the Red Sox is in the top 13 for ERA, and we'll get to that in a minute. Leading the AL in wins, Mike Mussina with 3, Jason Burley with 3 with the White Sox, and Kelvin Escobar for Anaheim with 3. Brown, Miller, and a bunch of others have 2. Saves, Easy Eddie Guardano for Seattle has 3. Keith Folk is tied for second with 5. I'm sorry, for Guardano. Keith Folk is tied for second with 3, with Mariano Rivera from the Yankees, Joe Nathan from the Twins, and Shields from Anaheim. An American League leader in strikeouts is Johan Santana with the Twins at 22. Mike Mussina has 20, and so does Kurt Schilling, so he's tied for second. Rodriguez for Anaheim has 19, and Johnson for Detroit has 17. And why are the Red Sox 5-6? Because they can't pitch. They have an ERA of 6.42. They're hitting the ball all right, but they just can't pitch. So they lost to Baltimore 7-3 on Thursday. They beat the Yankees 10-9 in 11 on Friday. They lost to the Yankees 10-9 on Friday. They won Saturday's game 9-5. So Friday's the difference. With Curt Schilling winning his second game of the year, and then lost the Sunday game, the one you just saw, or hopefully saw, 13-5. In fact, don't watch it. It was pretty bad. As far as, look at this. This is horrible. We sorted the players by whip. Okay? And when you have a whip of over 2, that's walks and hits divided by innings pitched. That's not good. Tim Wakefield and Eric Lowe have whips over 2. In fact, Derek Lowe has an ERA of 10-13 in 2 starts. Curt Schilling and Pedro Martinez are good, but they haven't. But their combined record is 2-1 with a 3.79 ERA. Bronson Arroyo will close the series, and I'll have to look before we go too much further who goes for the in the series against Toronto, because they really need 2 out of 3 there. So that's the pitching situation, and it's not good. Sox starters just aren't going that far. In 2 starts, Wakefield hasn't even gone 10 2/3 innings. He went 2 innings in that blowout loss to the Yankees on Sunday, and Lowe has averaged 4 innings a start. They just don't have the bullpens. None of these teams have the bullpens, but the Red Sox especially don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The Sox have used 16 pitchers in 11 games. Just astounding. Batting-wise, it gets a little better. Hold on a sec. Sorted by total bases, Jason Varitek leads that parade with 35. David Ortiz is second with 33, and Manny Ramirez has 27. That's pretty good. But Manny has struck out 16 times in 46 at-bats. Home run leaders, Varitek, Ortiz, and Manny with 4. RBI leaders, Ortiz is 16. He's had a great start to the year. One of the reasons why they've done as well as they have, along with Varitek. Starters who are not getting on base very often, Pokey Reese has 7 total bases in 11 games. Gabe Kapler has 3. Pokey has a double. Kapler has 3 singles. That's it. And Cesar Crespo, who is not my best friend in the entire world, he is 1 for 14 with 1 single. So that's a brief look at the Red Sox stats to the moment. They have stolen 5 out of 6 though. That's pretty good. We'll take that. And Pokey has put down 2 bunts. So the week we told you the week ahead. All right, here's the American League batting charts. The Red Sox are pretty much in the middle of the pack batting-wise. They're hitting .279 as a team. Anaheim is the best offense right now in baseball. They're hitting .322 and reaching base 30 at a .389 clip. The Red Sox are getting on base at a .348 clip. That's just above league average. The Red Sox, as I said, have stolen 5 out of 6. They've only grounded into 7 double plays. That's pretty good. They've been plugged 4 times. They have 22 doubles and 20 home runs, but they've only driven in 64. They've scored 63. They've scored 64 in 11 games. That's a lot of runs. Most teams have played 12 or 13. The offense has been just fine. Just fine. In the middle of the road, and that's going to win them a lot of games. Here is the bad news. Look who's last in the American League in ERA. The Red Sox at 6.42. Yes, this was an offensive error, but the ERA for the league right now is 4.44, which puts you somewhere between Anaheim and New York. The Red Sox pitchers have given up 120 hits in 101 innings, and 12 home runs. They've walked 48, which isn't, well, it is pretty bad. And they've struck out 73 and plunked 6 batters. So they've really made it difficult to get to their closers. They're just burning through pitchers left and right. And believe it or not, we've had 3 complete games in the American League. And what has hurt the Red Sox? Fielding. 3rd worst in the American League. A .968 fielding percentage. And runners have taken 5 out of 6 off of Jason Varitek and Doug Mirabelli. The league fielding percentage is .981. The Red Sox are at .968. Only Tampa and Kansas City are worse. That's not good. They have turned 14 double plays, but they've made 14 errors so far. So if the Red Sox are going to continue to break ahead of where their current stat, they've got to field the ball better, and we need more innings, where they need more innings out of the starters, especially the back end of the rotation, because, look, they made all but 8 starts throughout the entire year. So, anyway, 1 game off their pace is not horrible. The good news is that they have 3 against bottom dwellers Toronto coming up on the road, and I don't have to make any fields for them. But they do have 4 against the Yankees before we do another one of these again, and they really need to split the series, which is what they did in real life, and against the Yankees, and we'll just kind of go forward from there. So that's it. That's the Boston Red Sox Week in Review for this week, ending April 18th, 2004, brought to you by Commodore and the Commodore 64. So 80, so awesome, so many games that you can remember. Find the emulators on the internet. All right, so the next time we get together will be for morning baseball, the Yankees and Red Sox from Fenway Park, and then the Red Sox depart for their second road trip of the year to Skydome, and then the stadium. And so until then, this is Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you the next time.